Well, good morning all. Okay, as you can see, back on the trailer, doing the bit that I don't like. I don't enjoy putty work. Anyway, I've had a few comments, about what, using 40 grade paper, and I have sort of already explained what I'm doing, but I'll just run over it again quickly. Okay, I'm doing this in 2 stages. Like, if this was just one small area, just a little bit of damage or something, be a different matter. I'd just do it with 80 to start with. But yeah, trying to do this big of an area with 80, it's just going to take you forever, and you're going to go through, a couple of dozen sheets of paper to start with. So, as I said, all of this so far has just been done with this file, I call it speed file. It's got 40 grit paper. It's still sharp, still cutting. As I said, I've done all of this across here, across there, all of this so far has just been done with the 1 sheet of paper. I haven't had to replace it yet. Yeah, that's the difference between buying your paper from the paint shop and the hardware. You just get a much better quality of paper, and a lot of time it's cheaper as well. So it's sort of a double bonus. Anyway, just gonna explain where I'm up to. I've had a lot of trouble here because it was just too sharp a bend. I wanted the flow. I didn't want to come up and then because that's joined to that pipe that's inside the frame pipe, and I really had to whack the shit out of it to get it to move, and then I cracked the welds and had to re-weld it, and so on. But I finally got it into where I've got a pretty smooth sort of transition there. And I've had to build it up across here. It came out, and then it went. Oh well, that was sharp there as well. You can sort of still see metal. I can't go any deeper there, but I've had to build it up so that I get a smoother, or more rounded line, without flats in it, and even a gradual round. And so I've had a few goes at that too, and I'm finally sort of pretty much where I want it. As explained before, I'm doing all this with the guards on, and I'll take it off and I'll putty up, finish, and underneath I'll primer it with the guards off, and then when I guide coat and rub the primer, I'll clean up where the guards fit on, after I primer it, get it smooth. But then above it, I'll be doing a guide coat, wet rub on the primer, with the guards back on it, just because when you bolt this on, it pulls it out. It's going to move it. So if you get it all nice and flat and then bolt the guards on, you're going to get this wavy effect. And I mean, you don't get that when you stand a bug, because you've got a crease line, you've got a ridge runs all the way along there. So that stops that from happening. But on this, you haven't got that. So that's the way I got to do it. I'm going to show. It's a difficulty, and it's learning how to interpret. Like, you run your hand over it, and this is a difficult thing too with it using a 40, because it's rough as, there's this deep grains. But you got to run over it fairly quick, and what you're looking for is deep highs and lows, going this way. When I run back this way, like even that running that way, it's still sort of lumpy. Yeah, and that's really difficult to get out with the 40 grade. So, you know, I'll leave that till the next stage of actually smoothing it off. I just want to get it uniform without any major highs and lows. The minor stuff, yeah, I'll take that out in the next step. Because the next step is wiping, you know, another layer putty right over the top. Yeah, especially where the highs are, because I don't want to be rubbing through to the, you know, the metal again on the next lot of putty. So, yeah, but it'll basically be about only a mil or two thick, you know, going over the whole thing. Now, down here, I've hit metal here, I've hit metal, and I'm not quite through the middle, hit metal there. So that's chipped off because I'll whack that with hammer. I'll have to clean that a bit. But yeah, there's still low just in here. And you can feel it when you run it down like that. And you can feel it when you go along as well. So yeah, I'm still going to have to build that a little bit. Probably take a little more off this as well. And actually, yeah, it is a bit high. I might have to fill that. Now, something I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, up here. Now, when I run my hand along here, right, this sort of, well, there's a flat here. There's a flat in there, like it rounds, goes flat, and then it rounds again. Right, when you get to here, it feels like you got a high spot up here. But when you rub it back the other way, that's uniform right up to here, and then it drops off. And you can see I'm almost through the metal here again, so I can't rub that down anymore anyway. But yeah, like in thinking that that's a high spot, yeah, it's not a high spot. There's a low in front of it. You can't sort of feel it too much coming this way because it's very gradual. See, but you know, if I treat that as a high spot, well then that's going to affect up here. It's just going to keep continuing along, you know. I'll rub that high spot off and then there'll be a high spot here and then a high spot here and then a high spot there and then a high spot there. But it's not the case, so that's pretty good. So yeah, that's a low. But as I said, depending on what direction you go from, it'll feel, you know, as I said, it can feel like there's a high spot here when it's actually a low spot in front of it. There's actually a high spot here. Let's start marking that too. I've also got a method I use. It's pretty simple. Yeah, where I think there's a high spot, yeah, like up here, that's a high spot. I'm going to have to tap that a little bit. So I'll put a cross on the high spots. Yeah. And I circle my low spots. So it can come out a bit more. A little bit high there. High all the way along there. Okay, got a high here, got a low here. Yeah, and yeah, pencil's the best thing for it. I have, as you noticed the last video, this was sticking out a lot. I had a lump of wood on there, and yeah, I gave that a decent whack. I've straightened that out. And smoothing, yeah, sort of most of the places, but it was still a little bit wavy, a little bit in places. That's why I filled along there as well. But it's not thick, yeah. It's only a few mil. So yeah, down here, had even more trouble with it. The other side's fine. I'll show you. I mean, there'll be a bit of putty over the actual weld joint, but yeah, that's pretty well. So the bottom edge is okay. On the other side, the bottom edge was in a hole, like inch or so. So yeah, I've had to spend the last hour, and I actually got a couple of blocks of wood in the jimmy bar because the trailer frame's just inside there, so I was able to wedge the jimmy bar against the frame with a bit of wood and pull the other side out. And that was the thing too. So this has still got a whole lot of putty in it, and I might have to take that off as well. It doesn't look bad up top. So actually it's alright, yeah. Only along here, I don't know if you can see it. So it's got rust under the putty. Yeah. It was like that on the other side, and I started rubbing off, and it was just, I just had to take the whole lot of putty off the other side. So I really didn't want to do, you know, because because I've now had to re-putty the whole thing. But yeah, actually you can see that. See the bubble? Yeah, that's a rust bubble. Yeah, there's another one there. Another one there. Yeah. Doesn't seem to go back here though. So yeah, hopefully it'll just be that front section. As I said, I don't really want to rub it off because that's already smooth and, you know, shaped. But yeah, because I've taken the putty off the other side, like the putty that was on here, that was like 1/2 inch thick. But now that I've taken it off, there's a lot less crown in it than what it was. It's a lot sort of flatter, and I would have preferred it the way it was, but yeah, with the crown in it, more crown, but yeah, that's the way it is. You can do what you got to do, but yeah, because this is wasting a whole lot of putty now going back over it when it was already the right shape. But yeah, what can you do? You can't leave rust under it. So yeah, same story that was on the bonnet. Yeah. And this what you can see, that's rust converter. If you're going to use rust converter, and I mean, this didn't even need it. The rust wasn't that severe. You know, as I said, it scrubs off quite nice. Why they didn't just scrub it off to start with is beyond me. Oh, yeah, I did. It's just laziness. But yeah, I said spraying it with rust converter. If you're going to use rust converter, you got to emery it. You can't put car paints or putty, especially, straight over rust converter. It just doesn't work. It doesn't stick to it. So, but yeah, that's the same story I've had down there. Got the same issue here. This was terribly high, and yeah, because it's a crown and it was a welded joint, I sort of tried, but it wasn't going to do it. It was just going to crack, and it was going to wrinkle and crease, and yeah, so I cut. Sorry, not showing you. Yeah, I did put a cut from there to there, right across, and I actually had to put a cross cut in the centre here as well, and then yeah, knock that down, re-weld it. But in doing that, I've taken it down more than I needed to. And that's, yeah, still a little bit high, just along here, not much. Maybe down there or so. But this is the same story. You've got, there's a low spot here. Mark that now so I don't forget to put putty in it. But yeah, you could easily assume that that's a high spot. When you come from the other direction, it's not. It's this part here that's low in front of it. So yeah, before you make an assumption, when you're trying to find your highs and lows, go from all different directions, and because it can be deceiving. Anyway, I'll get into it now. I'll bring it back when I've got this whole thing done with the 40 up here across the roof. The roof's getting pretty good now. A little bit of finishing off, mostly just along here. Just needs to be brought up a little bit. It's only... Actually, I might try jacking that up first. Yeah, I might get the jack and block a bit under it. See if I can just lift the whole thing rather than puttying the whole thing. But yeah, still a bit of work to be done on the roof. But anyway, this is about as far as I'm going to get before I run out of putty again. And yeah, 5 litres of putty, and yeah, probably more than half of it's on the floor and been blown out the door. Yeah, it just, you waste a lot, and there's sort of not that much you can do about it. It's just the way it is. But yeah, anyway, as I said, I'll get all this back area on this side finished, and that's probably where I'm going to run out of putty anyway. And yeah, and I'll throw some primer on it then. But yeah, I'll bring you back when I start smoothing it over. Yeah, and showing you, the next step where I go down to an 80 grade, and we'll go up to an 80 grade from a 40, and then start, trying to get it smooth, As I said, all I'm doing right now is trying to get the overall shape right. I'm not concerned with, minor waviness or highs and lows, like, that are less than a mil or so, I'm not concerned with that at the moment. Just trying to get it overall right. And yeah, when I do put the next lot of putty on too, I'm going to use a different coloured hardener. I've got a blue hardener there which will make the putty green. And the purpose of that is so that when I do start rubbing it, I'll know when I've rubbed through what I've put on there. And when I start hitting the other putty, and there'll be a little bit of the other putty will get rubbed off, but I'm going to try to not rub too much of what's already on there off. Try and build it up rather than take it off. So yeah. Anyway, leave it at that. Rambling on a bit. So okay, thanks for watching. Bye.